Mr. Trump himself said he would cover a lot of territory. Tuesday night's address seemed to deliver on both of those promises. The president stuck to many of his favorite topics. He highlighted the GOP tax overhaul, saying it saves money for Americans and creates new jobs. He pointed out some of the regulations he has done away with, saying the moves are reinvigorating the energy sector, and he hit patriotic touchstones, taking a less than subtle swipe at NFL players who have kneeled during the national anthem. Perhaps the darkest moment in the address came when Mr. Trump spoke about immigration. He said open borders have led to drugs, unemployment, and murder. The president spoke for about an hour and 20 minutes. That ranks among the longest addresses in history, behind a couple from President Clinton. Here are some of the most significant moments.
Tonight, I call upon all of us to set aside our differences, to seek out common ground, and to summon the unity we need to deliver for the people. This is really the key. These are the people we were elected to serve. And together we are building a safe, strong, and proud America. Since the election, we have created 2.4 million new jobs, including 200,000 new jobs in manufacturing alone. And just as I promised the American people from this podium 11 months ago, we enacted the biggest tax cuts and reforms in American history. We have ended the war on American energy, and we have ended the war on beautiful, clean coal. America has also finally turned the page on decades of unfair trade deals that sacrificed our prosperity and shipped away our companies, our jobs, and our wealth. Our nation has lost its wealth, but we're getting it back so fast. The era of economic surrender is totally over. As we rebuild our industries, it is also time to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure. Tonight, I'm calling on Congress to produce a bill that generates at least $1.5 trillion for the new infrastructure investment that our country so desperately needs. For decades, open borders have allowed drugs and gangs to pour into our most vulnerable communities. They've allowed millions of low-wage workers to compete for jobs and wages against the poorest Americans. Most tragically, they have caused the loss of many innocent lives. Tonight, I am calling on Congress to finally close the deadly loopholes that have allowed MS-13 and other criminal gangs to break into our country. The United States is a compassionate nation, but as President of the United States, my highest loyalty, my greatest compassion, my constant concern is for America's children, America's struggling workers, and America's forgotten communities.
A few minutes after the president left the House chamber, we heard the official Democratic response. Massachusetts Congressman Joe Kennedy delivered a sometimes combative message. Here's a bit of it.
This is a difficult task. Many have spent the last year anxious, angry, afraid. We all feel the fractured fault lines across our country. We hear the voices of Americans who are forgotten and feel forsaken. Folks, it would be easy to dismiss this past year as chaos, partisanship, as politics. But it's far, far bigger than that. This administration isn't just targeting the laws that protect us. They're targeting the very idea that we are all worthy of protection. Bullies may land a punch. They may leave a mark. But they have never, not once, in the history of our United States, managed to match the strength and spirit of a people united in defense of their future. Politicians politicians can be cheered for the promises they make, our country will be judged by the promises we keep. That is the measure of our character. That is who we are. Out of many, one.
And here to break down the president's first State of the Union address.